Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk price. I'm going to share with you opinions from a number of analysts in this video, and just the general sense that I've gotten. And mind you, I've I've been reading opinions from more analysts than I'm going to share in this video because it would just go too long if I shared you with opinions of literally everyone that I follow. But as far as XRP goes, it seems pretty clear that the prevailing opinion is that XRP has really done a fantastic job this week holding its own, especially amidst the market turbulence that resulted from Elon Musk saying what he said. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that in this video. Hopefully not anymore in this video, actually. I've said enough on it. Everyone's said enough on it. It's ridiculous what has been happening here, but people have been losing their ever-loving minds. Crashed the entire crypto market globally after he said what he said about the Tesla no longer allowing people to purchase Bitcoin or purchase cars with a Bitcoin, which is funny because functionally nothing changed about Bitcoin itself, but one scary sounding little news thing and the people just lose their ever-loving minds. But doesn't that just go to show you something that I've been saying for some time, which is that this market is not so much based on fundamentals, it's more so about human psychology. Just another anecdotal incident, but one of many. And so I want to share with you a number of things because there's so much interesting stuff. So there's an analyst that is convinced that Bitcoin is going to get flipped. That's right. It's going to lose its #1 spot in market cap. There's another analyst who says that the biggest alt season of your life is like right around the corner. And so I'm just sitting here with my popcorn popped. I got my feet kicked up, just having a good time watching everything unfold here. And I hope that you are too. Hopefully you're not one of the people that's panicking. Because here's the thing, people get panicked like even worse than they otherwise would if they're lacking information or understanding of what's going on. And I think that's very normal. I think seeing either scary narratives or negative price action without having a grasp on why it's all happening, that can be very intimidating, which is why I just keep sharing with people it mostly means nothing. It doesn't mean the sky is falling necessarily. Now, in terms of market cycles, yes, a bubble's inflating. It is going to pop at some point. Of course, yeah, that's going to happen. But even then, it doesn't mean that crypto is going away and everything's going to zero. So, also, yeah, I'd say time horizon is a factor in whether or not you should be worried. Like, everybody's plan is a little bit different here. But look, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I'm not offering financial advice. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos all up on the internets because it's a fun thing to do. Talking about Ripple, we're talking about XRP, talking about unicorns, mostly that's what I do on this channel, and crypto in general. It's a good time here. Now, as I record this, XRP is at $1.45, Bitcoin is at $49,797, and market cap for the asset class, it's down to 2.34 trillion. I tell you what, if you had told me a couple of years ago that I'd be able to say that the market cap for the asset class was down to 2.3 trillion. Well, first of all, I would believe it. I would have believed it was possible, at least, because I've been saying forever that we're going to have a multi-trillion-dollar asset class, and here we are. Just it sounded unbelievable back when a couple years ago when the whole market cap was 170 billion or whatever the hell it was. But my gosh, just $2.34 trillion. Oh, and by the way, Bitcoin dominance. It has not been this low in years, and I love seeing this. And not because I hate Bitcoin, just to be clear, I'm pro Bitcoin, I hold Bitcoin, I'm long Bitcoin, but it's down to 39.68%, and that's primarily because altcoins are just outperforming it here. And so here's a tweet from Michael Vandepop that I just wanted to highlight because it's about stellar lumens. A lot of people still view stellar lumens and XRP as functionally the same, and I do understand why, even though they're not being positioned for the same use cases. Stellar lumens, it was created by Jed McCaleb, who also was the guy that came up with the idea for XRP, and then he created it with Arthur Brito and David Schwartz. And so he's one of Ripple's founders, had a falling out. So I don't even know if he worked at Ripple for, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of a year, maybe a little more, something like that. And then he went on to create Stellar and Stellar Lumens here, XLM. And it is interesting in that for most of the last few years, I have noted that XRP, out of the top 10 cryptocurrencies, has been the one that, although it does follow the rest of the market because the market moves in tandem, I've notated a number of times that XRP does trade sideways longer than any other top 10 cryptocurrency. But even that varies from time to time. So stellar lumens from time to time behaviorally very similar to XRP, and I've made videos, a couple videos, not many, but a couple videos on this topic in the past. I haven't mentioned this in a long time, but Stellar Lumens actually has a history of being not out of the top 10, among the least correlated to Bitcoin, but still moving in tandem. And it's just interesting that those two coins behave the same, given that XLM is a clone of XRP. So they took the open source code of XRP, copied it, tweaked it a bit, and then launched it and called it Stellar Lumens. And it's just interesting that given that's the case, those two happen to be behaving very similarly on the charts. And at least in that regard, they certainly have been. And so they'd actually flip-flop back and forth in terms of which was the least correlated. Sometimes XRP was the least out of the top 10, sometimes XLM, and then sometimes XLM would drop out of the top 10, so I couldn't even say that anymore. But nonetheless, XLM's still part of this market that's moving in tandem and taking off, so I thought I'd mention it. I don't talk about Stellar Lumens very frequently on this channel, but here's a tweet from Michael Vandepop on Twitter. He's got 291,000 followers, very popular chart analyst. And he wrote, well, XLM is in a bull cycle, like many altcoins are at this stage, flipped beautifully, through which a bullish continuation is expected. And so I wanted to highlight this because you will see an increase in analysts talking about XRP as you see markets start to heat up, and there will be no denial that it is doing what it is doing as it's about to do it, and as it breaks into its new all-time high and enters a new realm of price discovery. That's what I firmly believe you'll see here. And he also said this, in terms of Bitcoin, which leads the market, he wrote, I think we're quite close to the bottom of Bitcoin. And if we are, the biggest alt season of your life is around the corner. And so here's an interesting thing, because most people don't think that the Bitcoin top for this market cycle is in, although many have acknowledged maybe it could be, don't have enough data. Like, for instance, even the blockchain backer, even he has said possibly. It's possible it's in. He's not convinced that the top is in, but it's possible. And so the interesting thing is, even if that top is in, we're just going to see the altcoins take off sooner than we otherwise would, in which case, either way, the best, most fun part of all this is about to come. I'd still be really surprised if the Bitcoin top was actually in for this market cycle, though, because it would be a little bit different than last market cycle in that tons of coins. I remember it very clearly because I was there in 2017. So many coins had already just gone parabolic. It was hard keeping up with all of them. And everybody thought that they were just like the greatest, most smartest person on the planet ever because they were buying all sorts of coins that were winning. Well, I'll tell you what, it was impossible to lose, right? Almost, just about. You would have to be trying, and even then you'd probably accidentally win because everything was taking off. That's what it was like. And so more coins, way more coins had taken off and hit their then all-time highs before Bitcoin hit its all-time high. So Bitcoin's top is already in. I guess I'd be kind of surprised, but I'll listen to the chart analysts. If some of them think maybe it's possible, okay, I'll entertain that. But even if so, it's not like I'm scared about all of this because the best is yet to come, and XRP will move just like the rest of the market. Now, I'm excited either way. Now, I would, though, much rather see Bitcoin continue to the upside because the higher Bitcoin goes, the higher all of my altcoins will go, I firmly believe. And so here's a tweet from Il Capo. Another very popular chart analyst, and he wrote, last opportunity to buy Bitcoin below $50,000. Bookmark this tweet. I'll heart it. I don't really want to book it. I will go ahead and heart that, though. So hopefully, and this is what I'm seeing from most analysts, to be honest, and sometimes there's wisdom in numbers, sometimes there's not. But most analysts seem to think that more likely than not, you're going to see just for some degree a bit of consolidation, then Bitcoin blast off again. So most don't think that the all-time high is in, but I'm still listening to the ones that say no, and we'll just get to see who's right. It's fun to track that stuff here. Now check this out. Il Capo also wrote the following, and this is interesting. After this consolidation, we get a last epic run until December, which will take Bitcoin above $200,000. Altcoins will probably keep outperforming Bitcoin, and a flippening is likely before the cycle ends. Okay, so a couple things on this. Would love to see Bitcoin above $200,000. Again, if I ever sound like I'm just being a negative Nancy about Bitcoin, I'm just being a realist, actually. There are negative things to say about it, but I'm still pro-Bitcoin, want it to do well. Would love to see it above $200,000. I hold it. I'm kind of skeptical of it hitting this market cycle based on what most analysts are saying, but hey, if it happens, I'd be thrilled. I feel much more confident saying that Bitcoin will not be flipped to this market cycle. And I don't have to be a chart analyst. Well, nobody has to be an analyst to have an opinion anyway. It's fun to share opinions even if we're not professionals. And I don't want to be perceived or as some sort of like guru, because I am not. That's why I'm always crystal clear. I'm not a chart analyst. I don't have a financial background. I just think it's really fun to talk about this stuff and share opinions and ideas. But in looking at how humans are behaving, it's just like last market cycle. And, given that people haven't figured out from a fundamental perspective what deserves to actually have staying power in the crypto sphere, well, given that nothing's changed, why would we expect something different to happen? Why are we going to see Bitcoin get flipped now? At some point in the future, it's certainly possible it could get flipped. But even then, we need to break that down further. And I am actually going to make a whole video about this, but there actually have been coins with higher market caps than Bitcoin, but they don't get counted, and arguably for good reason. Like, you could just create a coin with, just imagine some outrageously high supply, and then gets launched in some sort of illiquid cryptocurrency exchange with almost nobody trading it, and maybe they're not even thinking about its price relative to Bitcoin in terms of market cap, and it gets priced at whatever it is, and given the total supply, it's briefly above Bitcoin. Well, if you look at CoinMarketCap and LiveCoinWatch, they actually don't track that. They have a methodology in place, and there are requirements beyond what you're aware of in order to be ranked. Even if you are ranking by market cap, in order to be listed towards the top, like the top 200, whatever it is, there are other metrics that most people aren't aware of. So if you think it really is actually, if you're ranking by market cap, that's actually the state of every crypto in terms of market cap, it actually hasn't always been. There have been briefly other coins. I don't have the names of them off the top of my head, but I am certain that it absolutely has happened. I've seen it. And then it's just not reported. And again, we could argue whether it's right or wrong. Maybe it's perfectly reasonable, actually. But that's happening. So technically, yes, there have already been coins. But if we're talking about what's being recognized globally by CoinMarketCap and LiveCoinWatch, I don't see that happening this particular market cycle. I would be very surprised if that happens, but I wouldn't necessarily mind it. Bring on the chaos. Let's just bring it on. And I would love it if it's XRP right here. But no, I really don't think that you're going to be seeing that, because on top of that, just consider that the money that flows into the crypto sphere starts at the top at Bitcoin, and then it breaks off to other coins. And so the most massive amount of money always into Bitcoin. Then when people sell that to take profits, some of it exits the space, but the rest of the people that want to make more money, they'll invest into other cryptocurrency that haven't popped off yet parabolically. And so the remaining money, it goes into the other coins. Well, even if it were all in one coin, that's still not enough to get it to pass Bitcoin. Like, it still just really isn't enough money. So I don't think it's going to happen. When would you see something like that potentially happen? When fundamentals matter. That's what I think. And I just don't think people care about fundamentals right now. Like I do, and maybe you do. XRP, the fundamentals actually matter to me. It's my favorite cryptocurrency. But most people just don't, because reasons? There you go. Here's a tweet from Murphy, who simply wrote beautiful stuff about Bitcoin, and noting that it was in a range that he was kind of looking at, somewhere around $49,000, which is pretty close. It's about where we are, right now as I record this anyway. So nothing terrible going on from his perspective either. Here's a tweet from somebody tagging Credible Crypto, very popular chart analyst, now up to 193,000 followers. So this guy tagged Credible Crypto and wrote, Bitcoin close to going below 30% dominance. Alt season likely to end soon, ? And again, as I record this, Bitcoin dominance at 39.68%. And Credible Crypto wrote, nah, we got time, in my opinion. And Credible Crypto is an analyst that's been calling for Bitcoin dominance to hit new all-time lows below 30%. And from what he's publicly articulated, he thinks that's going to be a strong indication that, we're at the tail end of this damn thing. Like, run. So we shall see. And then there was this too. I don't know what the hell this is, but that's kind of the point. Check out this crypto that this guy's talking about. Somebody was asking Credible Crypto the following. Any idea when JigStack will pump? I am losing 50% of my investment in JigStack. So again, I don't know what the hell a JigStack is. I don't care what the hell a JigStack is. Doesn't matter to me. There are over 8,000 cryptocurrencies, and it's stupid to me. STOOPID, stupid. And I wanted to highlight this because this is just so you know, because you might be one of the people out here, if you're feeling, oh my gosh, my cryptos aren't going. Maybe you feel that about XRP, even though it's still up like hundreds of % compared to the beginning of the year. Maybe you do feel like that as you see other coins pop off. There will be more people complaining about that. Or maybe you feel that about other coins that you hold. Last market cycle, all of them went. And so if humans are going to behave the same, like, do you think that will happen or not? Do you think it will never be higher than it is? Does it make sense to chase a green candle because something's popping off? Because I'm telling you, I'm just warning, you can do whatever you want. I won't tell you to buy or sell or hold. No financial advice here. But if you do, just be aware that a lot of the time, by the time you notice this, the public catches wind that something has taken off. That means that most of the gain, potentially, that it's going to realize that that market cycle, it's already in. Meanwhile, you're holding something that hasn't rocketed. And so, do you think it's going to rocket or not? Well, I think probably most cryptos are going to this market cycle. I wouldn't risk trying to time the market or FOMOing in or panic selling or anything. But I wanted to highlight this. You'll get this not just from the XRP community. You will get this from every community and in crypto. Pick your coin. There are going to be people that are freaking out because what they're holding isn't moving right now. That's a normal human emotion, but you need to be aware that it's happening not just to you, but every other human. And that's why you get this herd mentality. You get this, like, I don't even want to say that. Let me be more precise. Herd behavior. Just like, and then it's just like lemmings off a cliff as soon as something starts to go south. Everybody's panic selling. Like, do you want to be party to that? Because I sure as hell don't. I'm just not going to behave like that. And so Credible Crypto responded and just wrote one word: patience. Sage wisdom, my friends. Sage wisdom. Here's Love Crypto, and XRP wrote, for XRP, would like to see it break $1.47 before we can talk anything bullish in the short term. So we're just a few cents below that as I record. I think it was right. What's at $1.45 now? Yeah. So we'll just see it. It's, trading sideways, but frankly, most of what it is to be in crypto is sideways trading and negative price action. Most days are sideways or down. And the reason that you don't end up getting to zero is because the days that are up, enough of them are way up. Here's a tweet from Ambessa, who's indicating the market's still primed. And then here's a tweet from chart analyst Harry at Geraldo XRP, who is very well known in the XRP community for calling the biggest parabolic rise in XRP in history, from about 22 cents to almost $4. He also called the top on January 4th, 2018, when it hit its top. He put a tweet out indicating, hey, looks like things are going to cool off here. This good run though, something to that effect. And so he's lovingly called the wizard within the community here. And so I went back here. It was interesting. January 13th, he was tagged by somebody and just asked about Bitcoin. And on January 13th, he wrote, in regards to Bitcoin, he thinks it's going to $64,000. January 13th this year. At the time, I think it was around, 35,000, maybe somewhere thereabout. Well, Bitcoin's all-time high is 64,763. That's where Harry said that it was going to go. And to this point, it has. Interesting. And so I just noticed that he very recently wrote the following. Bitcoin, rotation is in. Now looks like rotation out of Bitcoin. Bulls can't do enough in May to save it now, in my opinion. So that's interesting because most of what I'm seeing is, consolidate for a bit and then we'll see upward price action. From what I'm seeing from Harry here, looks like, at least for May, you're not going to be seeing a lot of awesome Bitcoin action. But look, if things consolidate sideways longer and then if Bitcoin ultimately does take off again, cool, because the longer things consolidate, the higher they go typically. And the higher Bitcoin goes, again, the higher I think altcoins are going to go. So lots of stuff to look forward here, but XRP's ready, my friends. It is just waiting. It's just, I don't know when it's going to pop off, but I believe it will, along with the vast majority of all crypto. At least, or I'll say at least this. I think that probably every single mid and large cap coin in existence will probably pop off. That would be my for fun guess. Not a price prediction. I'm not telling you to buy or sell, but that's what I think here. But that's what happened in the past. So. Humans are behaving the same still, so that's what I would guess for fun. But I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.